EFL Championship action returns this coming weekend. It is time to predict the scores for game week 6 of this 2023-2024 Championship season. I had a terrible game week last time out, but a couple of players who are enjoying themselves currently is GKK474 and Alex Cochrane, both on 56.5 points at the top of the leaderboard. Let's see if we can catch them up with this coming game week. So we'll just jump straight into it with Hull City coming up against Coventry City. 7:45 Friday evening at the MKM Stadium. That's how they pronounce it anyway on Superbru. Hull, the Tigers, coming up against Coventry. Coventry drawing 3 on the bounce. Hull City, 3 wins out of their last 4 matches. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory to the Tigers. We then move on to the first of the Saturday fixtures where Blackburn Rovers take on Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough been absolutely hopeless this season. Blackburn Rovers been alright, currently 13th in the table. Decent at home, not too clever away. I'm going to go for another home victory and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Blackburn Rovers there. Then we move on to Ashton Gate, kick-off, 3 o'clock. Bristol City, the Wurzels taking on the West Brom boys. West Brom, last time out, turned over, surprisingly, by Huddersfield, and Bristol City, the Wurzels, winning that South Wales derby against the Jacks. So, in this one, I think it's going to be tight, but ultimately, I think it's going to end up 1-1. We then move on to John Smith Stadium, where it's kind of a Neil Warnock derby, you could say. Huddersfield and Rotherham, their record this season pretty much mirroring each other, both with victories in the last match. Huddersfield with a fine victory over West Brom, and Rotherham United a very, very good victory over the Canaries of Norwich. So this one, another tight one, but with Huddersfield at home, I fancy them to take all 3 points in a 1-0 home win. We then move on to Carrow Road, where Norwich, the Canaries, take on Stoke City. Stoke, okay, can score some goals, but 3 defeats in their last 4 matches isn't too clever. Okay, Norwich, we know that they were defeated by Rotherham in that last match as well. I think they'll bounce back in this one, and I can see them winning 3-1. We then move on to Deepdale. Surprisingly, Preston North End, top of the table, taking on newcomers Plymouth Argyle, who recorded their first win in their last 4 matches. In this one, another tight one, but I can see a victory for the Whites, the home side, 2-1. We then move to London, where QPR take on Sunderland. Sunderland inflicted a 5-0 thrashing over the Saints of Southampton in the last match. And QPR beat the hapless Middlesbrough 2-0. And in this match, I think it'll be close, but I think Sunderland take all 3 points in London, 1-0. Then we move on to Hillsborough, where Sheffield Wednesday picked up their first point of the season with a draw against Leeds United, and Ipswich coming from 2-0 down to suffer a mighty blow against the Cardiff City, where they came back to win 3-2. In this one, I think Ipswich will get amongst the goals again. Sheffield Wednesday will get on the score sheet, but I think it'll end up 2-1 to the Tractor Boys. Then we move on to Southampton against Leicester City, 2 of the relegated clubs. Both started the season fairly well, but both had defeats in their last match. I think this one's going to end up all square, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Then we move on to Watford against Birmingham. Birmingham City, currently at the heady heights of 4th place in the division. Watford at the lowly heights, or down near the basement in 18th. So I think this one, Watford, home advantage, but I can see this one ending up as a draw, 1-1. We then move to the Cardiff City Stadium. This takes place at 7:45 on Saturday night. I will be in attendance at this South Wales derby, where the Bluebirds take on the Jacks. The Swans, you could say, tough match to call this one. Swansea have won, the last 4 South Wales derby. So Cardiff got to stop the rot there. They're playing decent stuff, Cardiff, scoring lots of goals, but they're also shipping goals as well. So ultimately, I think this is going to end up as Deadsman's, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 scoreline. Then we move on to Millwall on Sunday, the final fixture of this game week, where Millwall take on Leeds. Bit of a humdinger this one. Leeds United, lots of quality, a lot of their players coming back off international duty as well, but I think the Whites will take all 3 points with a fine 2-1 away victory. So that concludes my predictions for game week 6 of this 2023-2024 championship season. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Let's see if we can climb up the table and catch the likes of Alex Cochrane and GKK 474. But enjoy your championship weekend. Good luck with your predictions, and I'll see you all in the next video.